It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, it's exciting. I wanted to bring back Jake Vande from Marco Technologies. And Jake is the director of sales over at Marco. And Jake, you know what? August is over. We start the third month of the third quarter. And I got to be honest with you, it's been tough for a whole lot of our friends in the evening channel, let alone technology services companies. But I had you on not too long ago, and I thought it time to refresh what's going on with you and your team as you start migrating that whole entire team into more of a solutions-based network of salespeople. So how are you doing? How are things going there at Marco?
Ray, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. We're good. Things are good. Everyone's starting to look towards the end of the year. It's always a fun time as we get through the first half and then kind of reflect on the things that we're good, make some tweaks to the things that we need to, and yeah, we got a positive end of the year coming up ahead of us.
Well, that's fantastic news, and I know you guys are, really pivoting hard into this full solution stack sales approach. You have a lot of methodologies that you're using. You put together this 6-point plan, if I remember right, and I was wondering if you could kind of refresh us on that and tell us where you're at with that and how the team's adapting to this new world we're living in.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, it's been exciting. We're probably about 6 months into this big One Marco transition and getting a imaging team of sales reps to transfer over to selling IT. It's been a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of good progress. We've seen a lot of changes, but we really had to start with a really solid foundation, and that foundation is built on the premise that we don't sell a product. We sell a process to help clients evaluate technology. And that process is really driven off 6 stages. And today, the first 3 is what I want to share with you, Ray, and your audience.
Sure.
And we've seen the biggest change in the first 3 stages and how our reps have gone from selling a product to selling an experience. In IT, it's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of bits and bytes. And we got to get our mind away from the bits and bytes. And we got to get it back to what does the client need? What does the client want? How do they function? And that really starts with the first stage, engage, right? And I'm trying to get people to say that engagement is more than just offering something. You got to give them something tangible. But to do that, you got to do your research. You got to understand their business. You got to understand who their clients are. You got to understand what industry and how they tick. When you do that, I can come to you with some actual tangible results and experiences to share with you to get you excited enough to want to go to the next stage. Stage 2 in this process is all about discovery. And you have to allow discovery to be something where you ask for questions, then you're giving them answers to. And I'd say there's 3 most important questions you got to ask, which is going to open the door and have these clients have a really engaging conversation. Number 1, how does your company make money? Anybody in that company is going to be able to answer that question, and you just got to listen. You got to take notes because everything we do beyond that is going to really go towards how do we help that client make more money. Second, how do you what client experience are you giving your customers, right? How does your customer service work? What is that overall experience? And third, how do you communicate internally among your employees, right? How do you get your coworkers organized? How do you get the right resources to help you at the right time? So those 3 questions are the foundation of our discovery. And in doing so, what we're really trying to do behind the scenes is we understand that IT typically has a decision maker. We want to broaden that group of decision makers. So what we do is we talk to the IT person and say, Mr. IT person, let me interview your chief marketing officer. Let me interview your sales manager. Let me interview your customer relation manager. And in doing so, I'm going to gather all those questions. I'm going to gather all that data, and I'm going to start to help them build their requirements list. And I'm going to do so to make my IT person the champion in this, and I'm going to help drive them down my process. I'm going to help them drive them down my path. And they are more than happy to do so because they don't have the time, effort, or knowledge to ask all those questions to gather all that data. The third thing then, Ray, is we go back to design. We take all that data, we go back to our team and we say, hey, what technologies now can start to fit their needs, right? What technologies can start to open the box of what we want to present to them? And a lot of times where we think we might have 1 or 2 options we want to present, we find ourselves presenting a whole slew of options, and we help that client create a roadmap around how they can go through the life cycle of technology and evaluate the most appropriate things along the way. And that's the key to success, Ray, right there. It's engage, it's discover, it's design, it's building a group of champions within the organization, and it's helping them evaluate versus selling them any product or technology in the first 3 stages.
Well, man, that's awesome. And you could tell there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of processes involved. like you said when you were talking, it's about asking the questions and shutting the hell up and letting them answer those questions, and getting all this information. And you know what? What's interesting about that is, and if you show up, your first meeting is close out Friday, it doesn't matter.
You got it.
I think that's the hardest thing for the channel to get over. When you're selling a product, I'm here to sell you a product. Hopefully, you'll sign my order right now, and that's my proposal. But you know,
and Ray, I got one neat case study, as you mentioned before. As you see this develop, it doesn't happen overnight. This has to be reinforced. This has to be trained. You have to be on sales calls with your reps to show them how to bring a client through this process. I got a chance to do it out on our East Coast office in Pennsylvania. We had a copy rep, we had an IT manager. We came in, we were selling IT technology. And I just brought the client through the process and let our team listen to how that engagement took place. And that really created the momentum, right? You can't just tell them to go do something. You got to show these sales reps how to do it.
Yep.
And once they hear it, they see it, they become believers. And when you're a believer and you have the confidence in doing so, and you realize I don't have to carry all the IT knowledge to be successful, I can bring in teams of people to do that for me. That's where you really start getting the traction with some of these channel partners.
Well, that's pretty awesome. How do you handle training? You know, Jake, I mean, is it regimented? Is it, I mean, what's your program?
I really like to do about once a month. I got about a 3-stage training program where we teach the process. Then we start to bring in real live case examples in the second training program. By the time we get to the third month and the third training, I'm starting to do it live. I'm encouraging them to bring clients, customers, and prospects and start to get some live engagement going. And when you do that, that's really where the rubber hits the road once you start to build that foundation. So it's about a 3-month, 3-stage process of training, and that's been our biggest claim to success so far in getting people up and running and believing in the system.
So how many sales reps right now are really close to doing those first 3 steps proficiently?
I'd like to say about 75%.
Great, that's
75%, and as we continue to grow off that, when other people start seeing sales reps become successful and they say, hey, why is so-and-so so much more successful than me? And then they start to believe again. So you kind of have a tiered system of how the believers start to actually trust in the process. Yeah. But you got to have a good foundation of managers to help support them. And you got to have the resources behind them to be able to talk the technicalities when and where needed to gain that trust of the client. But yeah, I would say right now we're hitting about 75%.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this question. When you're out, recruiting salespeople to join the Marco family, are you getting these individuals from a certain vertical? Is there any secret sauce out there? I mean, where's the best place to find these people?
Ray, that's a great question, and I laugh every day. My best successful sales reps, the ones I call the top 1%, have come from unrelated industries, have come from completely non-IT backgrounds, which is probably a benefit into how quickly they were able to learn a new system. But to be honest with you, you got to have the right personality, you got to have the right drive and momentum, and you got to be able to get people to like you. I mean, it seems so arbitrary, but I go back to, if you want to be a great salesperson and you want to know if you're hiring the right person, I say, would you sit down and have a beer with this person outside of work? Right? Do they carry the charisma that they can sit in front of a room of people and have a really good high-level business conversation? Some people have it and some people don't, but it's really down to that basic foundation of, hey, are you somebody that's likable? Are you somebody that can speak well and confidently? And can people trust you? And that's the whole likability factor. I think that really it's at the heart of why some people are successful and others aren't.
I used to say, if I went into an elevator with this person and we were going to the 8th floor and the elevator stopped and we were stuck there for 8 hours, would we still be talking? Would we hate each other? What would happen as a result of that? That was I called it the elevator test. Well, Jake, hey, it's always great having you on the end of the day with Ray. Marco's doing some fantastic things. I know you guys are struggling like every other organization out there, but when you look at the realities of a marketplace, you address those realities and you move forward with, everything you got, well, you'll get there. So it's great to have you, and I look forward to having you again. Is there anything you want to say before we end?
No, I think, everybody out there who's looking for the magic sauce, just realize it's just about working harder, providing more value, providing some tangible value to your clients. And in our world, there's a stark difference between what the competition is doing by selling off a line card and what we're doing by selling an experience and selling a solution. If you can really adopt and take that message away from this, I think you're going to see some really good success.
Well, when you tie a relationship with a great experience, you win. Because there's a whole lot of great relationships that lose to a better experience every single day. So you guys are doing the right thing. I appreciate you. Stay safe up there, and we'll see you again,
Thanks,
Jake.
Ray.
My friends, remember this: status quo's the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.